I'm just finishing this cold and my nose is running. I just worked out. My nose is cold. Oh, thanks. I decided to come over here instead of do the work I needed to do. I needed some therapy tonight.
Giving it or getting it? Oh,
Getting this therapy, drum therapy.
That's good. Yeah.
What is that earth thing over there? What is that?
Oh, those are wind chimes.
Oh. Oh. So do you buy everything yourself in the store?
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of it's on consignment, but the curtains and the chimes are.
Oh, how pretty.
That's what it sounds
Oh,
like.
that's beautiful. Oh, I love chimes.
Yeah, that's good. Got a little concert going.
Oh my. Oh wow. That's so cool.
Those are bell trees. They're made in Nashville. A lot of
Made in
percussionists and composers use them.
Do they? Wow. They're made in Nashville? I would think that would be made somewhere exotic, you know.
Yeah, they're very proud of Made in America.
Yeah.
I think.
Are most of the chimes made in
No, Woodstock sold I sold that a few years ago, I guess. And so they're made in China. But these are made in Nashville. American.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. Woodstock used to be made in Woodstock, New York.
Oh.
New York.
I never did this.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So have you had this drum for a while?
Yeah, I bought it about 4 years ago,
Oh,
but
okay.
I rarely drum because
Okay.
I don't really have a spot and I've never taken a drum lesson and
Sure.
so
Well,
I just.
you're
I
here
find
now.
it- Yeah.
Is this convenient for you to come here?
Yeah, yeah. I live over on California in like 18,
Okay, excellent.
so it's very easy.
Good, good,
I
good.
like to do everything local as much as possible.
That's right. That's right. And that's the way I teach the drumming. You know, be a lazy drummer, which means don't work hard,
Yeah.
don't play a lot,
Yeah.
play enough, and and let go of the habit of trying to control and be correct and trying to. Some people need to be. Well, they're working out psychology when they hit a drum. A lot of people, and they're not aware of it. But I've been drumming since I was 8 years old, and all kinds of drumming. And the most interesting drumming for me is what we're doing right now, this, because it has evolved from just regular drumming into, first of all, it was relaxation drumming, to just get rid of stress. And that was kind of based on my experience as a rhythm and blues drummer, and down in the deep south in the 60s, starting in, it's pretty chilly, isn't it?
Okay.
No, I don't
I'll
like
close
it
it.
at all.
Oh, you-
I
Okay. Oh, you're good?
You get
Okay,
cold.
good.
okay, I
You
don't
know,
care.
since you have a cold,
Oh, no,
you
it's
don't want to
fine.
get cold
good.
in your back.
So the first place to start is just a single note. And that single note is right in the center of the drum head, further in. Yeah, that's the center of the drum head. And you're going to use your whole hand. So the heel, yeah, that was it right there. You don't think about it. You just go in, you get the tone, and you come out of the head. A lot of people go in and stay, they'll lock in, and that's control issues, so that's psychology. So good, we don't have to go there. So then, I recommend people try going back and forth on that note with one hand and the other. Now, traditional African, they do definitely advise that you go back and forth with the patterns. Afro-Cuban, you're going to have a strong hand and a left hand. That, a lot of technique there. So, what we're avoiding here is the intellectual techniques, and getting into just this flow. Now, we don't have a lot of words for the flow. Groove, that's about it. But cultures who have held their rhythms, have consistently handed down their tribal cultural rhythms generations after generations. They have a lot of words to describe this sense of movement of rhythm, like flowing of water or of wind or air or whatever. So we're approaching this through our intellectual mind. We like to learn everything. And yeah. So what I usually do is this: I sneak up on people by doing this. Because what happens is the critical mind that's totally active most of the time and wants to jump on whatever is being presented, analyze it, pigeonhole it, understand it, and then get bored and move on. So instead of going there with the technique, which I can, what I've come to understand is that people don't really want to learn that kind of drumming, technical stuff. They want to feel a groove. They want to participate in a groove. They want to play and just enjoy playing instead of thinking about this is correct notes and whatever. So I said, okay, I'm just going to walk away from the traditional, teaching of drumming and learn from all the students that come in. And they're not students; they're people that want to drum, And they tell me, I don't want to be a drummer. I just want to drum. And I'm like, oh, I think I understand. So it took me a long time to simplify, to get to the point where really words aren't necessary. I love to talk, so that's a problem. So, see, this for me, this goes back to the rhythm and blues storytelling, which is like the African griot tradition. I got it from a lot of people, but especially Big Joe Turner, one of the great early blues. That guy, they call him the blues shouter because he could sing, but he had such a strong voice that he'd bellow, So he would tell stories, and I instinctively went for these groups, and he loved it, and I watched these stories come out of him. So it's more of a mythic, archetypal kind of drumming. Yeah, good. Good, yeah. So now you're getting confident, and that's what I want. Just so you go ahead and you acquire that yourself, that confidence. I can tell you play these notes, but as soon as you would do what I told you to do, there would be anxiety and tension and critical thinking. So here, what?
Judgment too.
Yeah, exactly.
Judge yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So here, there's none of that. There's no judgment. There's no wrong notes. And you're playing. So the high notes out at the edge, get your fingers up so they let the drum head sing. If you leave your fingers on the drum head, it muffles the head. So you got to come up quick. It's like a Zen martial arts kind of approach. Just in and out, really light, really quick. Not hard. You don't have to hit it hard. You just hit it hard enough and then get away from the head and let it sing. So that way you don't hurt your hands, which is different than traditional African drumming teaching, which is, right, you've probably experienced some of that or seen it, where the drum teachers say, harder, faster, louder, So we don't have to do that. And that's where I was mentioned earlier, the psychology. People are working on they're processing their psychology when they hit a drum. Because it's always had that function in the human experience. But now we call it psychology. So what we're doing right now is now we're settling in comfortably to a groove. It's always going to be different. It's based on some basic rhythm structures, what I call rhythm theory. Just to give it a name. And you start to intuitively understand how those rhythm structures can be used, to create different rhythms, improvise, or, show off, or just play simple. Because it's all the same. Now, I tell people there's two basic rhythms in the whole world, the whole universe. Two basic rhythm structures. This one and the other one. If we were to count, and I do not recommend counting, except in certain situations it's very useful for us in this culture. Because we're coming at the drum through the mind, through the intellect, through the new intellect. The new intellect that's been around for 50,000 years in terms of the evolution of the brain. But really what we're using and what we're empowering is a much older form of wisdom, body wisdom, rhythm, sense of rhythm. That's a language. It's actually the first language. So we can settle down in our awareness of our own body, like in yoga, and settle down into the basic lower chakras and feel that rhythm and be comfortable with it. Now, this is a 4-beat rhythm, if you want to count, or 2-beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. See, I'm not tricking you. See, my tambourine is showing us where the pulse is. Right? But you notice how you immediately changed, your brain shifted as soon as I started counting, right? Your whole expression changed. That's what happens with humans. So what we're trying to do is stay out of that part of the brain for a while. Yeah. That's why I kind of do this and talk at you and distract that intellectual mind. And your body is having fun. It's drumming. Just leave me alone. I'm drumming. So it doesn't judge. And as a result, what you're learning, what your body is learning, there's no emotional charge of anxiety, fear, teacher fear, stuff like that. It's not there. Because I've seen so many drummers learn from, really tough drum teachers. Beat up the students, and it's a tradition. I don't go along with it. But most drum teachers have been abused as drum students when they were young. Harder, faster, louder. Make sure your fingers are bleeding on and off. So we don't have to do any of that. What we're doing now is discovering. And that discovery energy, very healing stuff. Endorphins, brain activity, lots of positive results. When the person discovers on their own that they can do something. I've watched it in the kids when I go to the schools and stuff. They can do it, They brighten up right away. So, this is a 4-beat pattern. Now, I did not explain that note. That note. Okay, very much. We call that the downbeat. Right? Now, the downbeat is actually a New Orleans invention. It's not African. It's a cultural mix. About 250 years old. This concept of everybody's at least going to support the downbeat. Now you can play around it, improvise, or not play at all. As long as everybody supports that concept on a common note, then it's all going to hold together. It's going to work. And that happened in New Orleans out of necessity. Historically, that was the way the slaves could buy their freedom. Only in New Orleans, French law. They could play on the street, make money. So all these different people, not only from Africa, but everywhere, they got together and they said, okay, how are we going to do this? I don't know your music, you don't know mine. Probably the women who wanted to dance said, why don't you guys agree at least on one note? And just keep that steady, and we'll do the rest. So the hats filled up, slaves bought their freedom, and invented jazz. And rhythm and blues, and rock and roll. And influenced everything, influenced the whole world. So it came out of these rhythms, not just from Africa, Ireland, France, American Indian, Far East. Everything mixed together, that gumbo of New Orleans. So, what we're playing right now, everything based on the downbeat, this is sort of almost a second line rhythm, which is like a very interesting New Orleans rhythm that only exists in New Orleans. It's part of their tradition, the funeral processions. Second line has unique rhythm accents. Now, this downbeat, everybody can relate to the downbeat. That's why rock and roll took off, because everybody could move to that note. It didn't matter what culture you were from. You could pretty much follow that note. So you could shake it, dance, have a good time. Beginning of integration, amazing social tool. Nobody even realized it was coming from that decision. So, when you get energy going like this, you're also attracting energy, right? Energy attracts energy. So the energy field that we want to generate needs to be strong and protect us. Because there's all sorts of energies out there. Right? And the drum has always historically been used to deal with those energies. Call them in, go to war, anything, a lot of different things. So intention, really important. So we're gonna chant now. We're gonna do shamanic drumming, and we're gonna sing at the same time. And again, don't have to worry about hitting the right notes. The point is to make sound. That's it. Yeah, no pressure. Because I can't sing. So if everybody else can, sing or not sing, it all works. Yeah, you got this. Oh, I got the sound up. That's our playback. We go live to the internet. So we're on YouTube. The camera's up behind you up there. So. And we have people with us drumming along with it. We don't hear them, but they hear us. And it's great. You know, we get people all over the world. Japan, Australia, you know, all across the states, Kansas, and Florida and stuff.
Yeah, people need drums, virtual drum samples.
Yeah. So, and basically I've been teaching the same way, you know, for the last 30 years. I mean, I was classically trained. My first drum teacher was a woman. Made a big difference, I think, you know, 8 years old, Midwest, outside Chicago. So I had the medals and the rudimental and the orchestra and the symphony and the drum and bugle corps stuff. And, you know, destined to be the drummer, say, in the Navy band, or my goal was to be the drummer for the Tonight Show, you know. Kids, you know, go for it. Because it's very competitive. This Elkhart, Indiana, is where they made all the band instruments. The saxophones and the tubas and the trumpets, you know, Music Man, you know, all that stuff is right there. That's where it was all made. So it was like great music teachers all over the town, little town. Nice place to raise your kids up, you know, 50,000 back in 1962. So suddenly, boom, Mom remarried, and we ended up in Central Florida, 63. Now, I'm going to slow this down, because this is the blues, okay? And this is what I had to learn when I got to the South, because there wasn't any orchestra. And I had to become a blues drummer. So you understand this. Now, this rhythm, I refer to it as a 3-beat rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Or a 6-beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which is pretty much like a blues rhythm, right? Now, this rhythm not only came over on the slave ships, but it's also part of the Irish tradition and American Indian. Again, every culture uses these rhythms. Now, also it's interesting, a lot of people can't do that. What you've just done, they can't do this right away. Because they're really stuck in the analytical part of their brain, which has made assumptions about drumming right away. Give it 15 seconds and it's an expert on drumming. So what the assumption was is that my strong hand, which is usually the right hand of the person drumming, the strong hand will play the most important notes. And the left hand, maybe get a few once in a while. So they'll try to do this rhythm using their right hand, their strong hand, to hit each downbeat. But you see, it doesn't work because of the back and forth activity, especially when it goes fast. You can't favor one hand. See, that exactly, that's what happens. People freeze up like that because that critical mind comes in, says, let me figure this out, let me be in control. So we got to constantly release that need of the critical analytical mind to get in the way. It just loves to get in the way. It's well intentioned, but drumming is one of the few ways to very quickly put that critical mind into a neutral space where it's not interfering with creative activities that it has no idea how to do. So there's no judging. And this particular hand sequence, this rhythm, is great for getting people outside of that critical box into this amazing flow. This groove has so many variations. I call this the original rhythm. In Africa, they'll say this is the foundation for the African rumba, the original rumba, which is a history of sacred drumming. Mediterranean, African. It's a survival rhythm. And so they were allowed to bring their drums, just like your drum, on the slave ships and drum, because it increased the survivable percentage. cold-blooded business. So when the drum got to the colonies, the Eastern Seaboard colonies were mostly Protestant, British. So this was a tool of the devil. And so they decided not to allow it onto the plantations. Initially they did, but there's an event that you will never hear about in the history books called the Djembe Revolution. And it actually happened where all the slaves could, all along the Eastern Seaboard, could talk to each other using the drum. And they timed it right down to the minute when they would all just walk off the plantations from Georgia to North Carolina, all along the coast. They had nowhere to go. Unfortunately, they were rounded up and put back, into slavery. New Orleans, entirely different. French. And they're very international. So when the slave ships arrived in New Orleans, they allowed this drum to come on shore and become a part of the New Orleans culture. And they started playing down in the French Quarter what became Congo Square. Different people all over the world come play, and that's how American music really got started. And this rhythm was like a common rhythm. Most people understood it. No matter where they were from in the world, they could relate to this rhythm. So the basic blues, the Delta blues, based off of this rhythm. Robert Johnson, all the originators. And it's really hard to play on a drum set. And one reason is that it generates so much energy. It's a survival rhythm. Humanity has used this rhythm to survive. So it generates something. Now, it's really hard to define what. But you feel it. So I tell people, this is a rhythm, this is a power groove. You get your handles on this groove, you can really make things happen. It'll give you like momentum, movement, and like confidence. And oddly enough, it's used for that. All the songs that John Philip Sousa composed, the military march songs, all based off this rhythm. And every classic rock, every band from Led Zeppelin to the Doors, they all use this rhythm. Now, since you've already passed the intermediate stage, we'll go ahead and take it up. Now, when I'm starting to encourage people to open up a little bit, stay relaxed, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So, and then we have fun singing. Once we get up to tempo, and you'll recognize these tempos. Now, what I'm doing there is I'm accenting the 1 and then the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'm hearing it as a 6 beat instead of just a 3. 1, 2, 3. And the reason I can do this is because I play the drum set for so long. So this is really simplify. Always simplify. Play lazy. So here, when we do this, see, now I'm leaving a lot of space. See, I put you through the ordeal of learning how to play all those notes. And you get tense and you're learning. And now, just go back to the downbeat. Just the downbeat. No more. Just right dead center. And then add those couple of notes. Yeah. So now what's happening is you're implying all those other notes. You don't have to play them. Once in a while.
I'm hearing a song in my head.
What song is it?
Everybody who saves the world. Everybody wants to save the world.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a classic universal groove.
Can't remember who did it.
Yeah, that was a great song. Simply Red. So now we're up to tempo. This is a blues shuffle, what's traditionally called a blues shuffle. And there's a million and millions and millions of songs off this group. Anyway, we have one chestnut that I'd like to pull out.
I think we did it last time Christy was here.
What that?
We did it last time Christy was here.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's singing the old Doors song.
I'm thinking about where I'm gonna put the drum too.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Trying
So,
to figure out where it's
Yeah.
the best place. And I look at her hands.
well, now, just instead of thinking about where the notes and hands go, hear your tone. Like, concentrate on the tone that's coming off the drum. Like, because what you're doing is you're overreaching. You're going all the way out there. And that shows that the intellect is like getting active again. So feel the tone. The notes will come. Because this is a great groove. And you'll get it. And the head has got so many different voices. You know, the low tone in the middle, and a lot of high edge notes. There's intermediate, you know, in here. So, but I don't go there. I only show people the low and the high. That's it. If you go more than two technical elements, they're lost. We can go two, and then we fall, and then we go into the intellect too far. But you can do a lot with this. You can really swing, and you can be lazy. It's important to be lazy, especially with this rhythm, because it generates, like I said, the life force. So you got to remember to lay it back. Be late. And that's what I had to learn, how to be late as a drummer. Because I was on a metronome, I was classically trained. And when I started playing with the blues guys, they said, no, man. No, you got to be late. You got to lay it back in a pocket. You got to be real late. The later you are, the more the girls are going to dance. You're not a metronome. This is not about being a machine. So that ability to like be lazy and sloppy and lay it back in a pocket, it gets them going. You know, people are going to feel safe. Their body's going to start to move.
Chicken magnet.
Totally. When I first wrote these, the books about the drumming, the publisher Llewellyn had me come out to Denver for the International New Age Trade Show every year. And they had big booths full of books, all of their New Age artists, New Age writers. So I said, well, look, I'll just sit here on a chair, I got a drum, and I'll just, do what I do. Boom! Just a total, horde of people came up, primarily women. And the woman who was running it came over, she says, that sure is a girl magnet thing you got going there. It's always been that way. It's not drumming per se, it's the kind of drumming. And it's not like I had it innately, I had to learn it. And it has to do with trusting the groove. It's going to stay steady, it's not going to speed up, it's not going to imply aggressiveness. I mean, I can play like that, but this doesn't do that. This is very patient. This is like Buddha. It's right here. You don't go anywhere. I mean, you can play and you can really cook, but you don't speed up. You don't become aggressive. You don't become unconscious. You stay in your body. Tonight's show, we're calling it mindful drumming. That's okay. We don't hear it when we're going, right? So the grooves that we do sounds pretty good.
Hey, trio here. Do you ever drum to music?
What's that?
Do you ever drum to like a record or a CD
Yeah.
to?
Yeah, that's a skill. To drum along to a record, you have to be really, really steady. And you have to listen closely to what the music is being played. And your drum part, whatever you're doing, then has to fit in. So what will happen is your attention will drift a little bit, and then you're suddenly lost on the pulse. So you got to fight to get back to it. Slow down, speed up, whatever you have to do. It's really good discipline, in one way, to understand how the drummer and the musicians work together. But it can be maddening if your time is not steady. It's hard work. Like in the recording studio, I mean, I had to do it for years, where I would overdub a part. The track had already been recorded, but it wasn't finished. They needed a percussion part or another drum set part or something. So I had to go in, put the cans on, and listen and play the part with the track, as if it was a live performance. Really hard to do. And the people who could do it were the ones that worked. And the reason I could do it was that I was raised on a metronome. So like the first 8 years, I was chick, 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 and I'd sight read whatever, my teacher was giving me as a drum student. So I had impeccable time, just locked right in. But when I went to the Deep South, and I had to get rid of all that in order to play funky. So when I came out here, there was more session work and everything. I had to go back and bring that up to speed again so I could lock in. So I I encourage people to play along.
I tried to do it to do CDs, but sometimes I can't.
Right. What kind of music?
Actually, kind of like dance, trance, that kind of beat, that real bass beat. Yeah.
Good. Well, your time is solid, so you should be able to do it. Like the more familiar and confident you get with it. A lot of the problem is let's see.
I tried to do it once to the Rolling Stones song. There was one part. There's one song that has the drums, congas or something, and I couldn't get it.
What song is this?
It's one of the Rolling Stones. Remember there's like a lead-in drum.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. There's one in Santana.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. Training in a long, long time. Played on many man's soul to waste. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Now what that is, it's a mixture of African and Cuban, and it's a simplification. It's turned into a rock beat. So it's not totally authentic, but it's like what you want to do to understand that is, again, nail the downbeat. Doom, 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 doom. Once you're there, you're going to drift in between because of busy notes. You can't be exact. Plus, it's a pretty loose rhythm track. Okay, so what the confusing part is where those upbeats, those syncopated notes land. So what we're going to do, and there's different ways to go at this. Like the intellectual mind says, "Let me at it," and it's going to define. It needs a paradigm and a matrix and analytical. The other way is through the body, where you're feeling the movement of the dance rhythm. Now that's a deceiving rhythm because they pumped it up. They didn't really record it at that tempo. They turned what they call a variable speed oscillator. They took the whole track and they speeded it up, which raised the key and created more level. They did it on Chuck Berry's early stuff too, and he hated it, but sold records. So, but it's like boom, 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 boom. Now this goes back to the early Cuban rhythms, merengue. So what we're doing now lay into the downbeat. That's why the drummers don't sing. Yeah, get each other a hand. Right at the beginning, boom, bang, bang. Yeah. They got it. That's it. You got it. And the guy that played that part on the record, he was sitting right where you are. He came in, some friends brought him in. This was, about 6 months ago. And I want to call him Kwaku, but terrible with names because I had so many, intellectual definitions of rhythm when I was young. The African names, there's just no room left. Mia Banks. Like say on that session, you got to give the other drummers room because it's so busy. It'll conflict. It won't mesh. And percussion has to fit like clockwork. If it doesn't, it's going to be horrible. So you got to be really good. And the Stones always had the best. Maya Bingi, rhythm. Don't beat yourself up. You look for the next downbeat coming along. And that way you're back on. Most likely no one will notice. And if they do, they'll probably laugh. Like, I lost it. Teaching in Florida because I go down there and teach the drumming, and there's a women's group, and they were pretty shy at the beginning, but they really wanted to do it. So I went a few times, and then I went back, and they had a nice dinner party, drumming dinner party. And it was delicious food. We were out in the Everglades, and nice house, and all the husbands and the boyfriends were in the kitchen drinking a beer. So why don't you guys go in there and drum with your women? They go, no way, man. That's scary. So they said, we want to show you what we've learned, what we figured out. Okay. They said, we don't want you to drum. We want you to just watch us and listen to us. having the greatest time. They were laughing and having a great time, and they drifted a little bit. But then they'd hear it, and individually they would correct themselves and get back on the downbeat again. It was just wonderful to watch because they knew they could do it, and there was a way to, to correct, the course alterations. We're not humiliating.
Funny. It was they're scared.
Yeah. Anyway, you're very good because this is not an easy rhythm.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Now, what I'm doing here is I'm really accentuating the downbeat. And Charlie Watts, the set drummer with the Rolling Stones, he really is good at that. But when you end up putting all that music on top, you don't hear the downbeat so strong. It's in there, but you got to kind of dig for it. But Charlie's a great drummer, and he never pushed unless he decided to push. And then it happens in the old classic rock, the tempo's going to speed up just a little bit just to create more energy. And then what happened in the early 70s, mid 70s, is the drum machine took over.
Oh, yeah.
Now it was the producers loved it because it would keep everybody steady, but it ruined the music. And everything became a formula and rigid.
And computerized.
Right. So what that did, it created what I call a digital neurosis. And you can see it now 4 generations later with the kids totally absorbed in their iPhones. And it's all digital. And it's really hard for them to put down the iPhone. I mean, I work with recovery, all ages. And the worst addiction is that iPhone addiction. And they're so entrained, hypnotized by that digital stream of data, they'll walk across a busy street without looking.
I see it all day today. It's been a crazy day. So many weird drivers and people walking. Weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, it does not bode well.
It's always.
So this is a way to get back into the body and feel the reality of where you are. So it works for people who are in different forms of recovery, not just drug and alcohol, depression, distraction, ADHD, autism even. And it's fascinating. Why does drumming have a positive effect? And it has to do with rhythm, organic rhythm, that the human is playing, not a machine.
Yeah. Primal.
Yeah, we really don't have words for it, and that's why the drum was invented. To talk about things that do not have words. So the drum machine is like artificial sweetener. So yeah, we're missing rhythmic nutrition with the drum machine rhythms. Plus, it's making us aggressive and angry, and very anxious. Because the alarms are going off. You have to be in sync. You have to be in sync in order to survive. It's ancient. It's its DNA. And we can't be in sync to a machine. We're not machines. No matter how much we try, we're really not going to be in sync with a drum machine. alarms are going off all the time. Even in the pop songs, it's clicking away underneath there. Unforgiving. You be with that groove, or you're not gonna make it. You know? So it's fear. Very subtle, but so when people do this, they say, you know what? This feels good. I'm not worried. And then you feel a little freer of the digital drum machine, because it's driving us all. So I just try to make people aware of that.
Cool therapy.
Now what?
To the schools. Should bring this to the schools more.
Yeah. Now watch what happens when we slow this down just a little bit. Good. A little more. Yeah, right here. That's good. My point is, the mind relaxes when we slow down tempo. And as a result, the body relaxes. Because the mind makes a decision. Oh, it's slowing down, therefore it's going to be easier. It's going to be safer. So that's a way to bring people into a sense of safety by slowing tempo. And that's what I teach everybody when I do the recovery drumming.
My girlfriend.
Oh, cool.
I told them when I was walking with them once, I saw this, and then I think I come over here, and I told one of my friends I was coming tonight, so they probably came over.
Oh, great. Well, they're certainly welcome if they want to come on in, hang out.
They already left.
Some people are shy, and also the little dogs. Most of the time, the dogs feel safe after a few minutes because they see that it's not really aggressive. It's just, because we're relaxed with the group. If there's any anxiety, I'll slow the tempo down. So, and that's how you learn a rhythm. Slow it down. So when you slow this down, it goes through all these interesting changes. It becomes a samba. right, you got that.
I got it. I can't believe it. She did it.
Yeah, you sounded good. You,
You can go home and
I'm not
play
as
with the Rolling
beginner as I thought I was.
Stones. No.
I don't know any, I only just follow people and hopefully I get it.
well, it's a real learning experience how people learn for me.
Everybody learns differently, and I learn better when I just watch and do
Mhm.
it rather than being told. I bought a CD on how to drum, and it's not the same.
Escapes you. It's like,
They have finger patterns and, and stuff, and I can't, the numbers when.
Well, there you have to learn another language before you can drum. The visual, and so you're going through different translations to do something that the body can do without language.
you can hear it.
Yeah.
And
I always
Yeah,
do better learning
listening.
by watching and doing
Mhm.
than
Right.
reading a book. Or
Right.
And
reading
and then you get to the point where you can hear and understand because you've been playing enough to say, okay, that's how they got that sound. That's after playing repeatedly so much where your hands just automatically can play.
You just practice.
I was
Practice more, right? It'll become more natural.
yeah, you'll hear
Think
it.
about
You'll
it.
listen more.
Yeah.
You'll listen.
So the way we teach is that these basic rhythm patterns, what I call the rhythm theory, there's about 7 basic rhythms structures, but there's really only 2 rhythms: the 2/4 world and the 3/6 world. Cut and paste, if you want to get something unusual, 5 or whatever. But generally, when drummers learn, they'll learn like 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. They're counting in those basic increments in order to make it through. That's all very intellectual. And eventually, if they're dedicated enough drummers, they move their awareness from the intellectual counting into the feel. And that's, that's the goal for many drummers. But a lot of drummers don't want to go there because they don't trust their own feelings. So they're going to stay with the counting, and which is pretty mundane. It's kind of dry. So the drummers who can swing, who can be fearless improvisers, which is like they understand the basic rhythm structure and they can improvise around it. It's a lot like Bruce Lee. Dancing. He was a dancing cha-cha champion of Hong Kong. He was. And he could dance. And he would make fun of everybody because he could outdance anybody. Plus, he could see his opponent's rhythm structure. Because in America, everybody learns rhythm in martial arts to hear. Ha, 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 and it's just, and he would make jokes. He'd dance around in circles, and ha, ha, and it's like so his partner contacted us, Guru Dan Inosanto. He's in all the Bruce Lee movies, and he's close to 80 years old. But when he was just 72 or so, still teaching down in the academy, his school down in Marina del Rey, Inosanto Academy. And he's just considered the greatest martial arts teacher in the world. And it was such an honor. And he sent friends, representatives to say, would I, teach him this kind of drumming? It was a great honor. So we spent about 4 years, focusing on it. And we made this hit CD, Martial Arts Drumming, that went up there, that purple one. It's a hit. It sells all over the world, iTunes, everywhere.
He still teaches all over the world.
Yeah, he travels.
He trains the SEALs. Yeah.
And they use that CD, they train to that CD.
But he's
Because I watched, watched it.
from his studio in the airport. People have come up to him and say,
Oh yeah, I'd have the Inosanto Academy T-shirt on, and people come up and they say, "Do you know Dan Inosanto?" And I said, "He is my student." And they go, I said, "No, I'm his drum teacher." So he is now considered to be the father of martial arts drumming, because he knew it had to happen. Americans were rhythmically at a disadvantage in martial arts in international competition.
I can imagine drumming goes with the same kind of principles.
Yeah.
Mindset, right?
So he didn't have enough music background, to understand how to make that happen because he wanted to use drums in the training, in the classes. Because he'd seen it. He'd seen it not only in the Far East, like Malaysia and everywhere, but he also saw it in the Middle East, you know. And it's like when the training to, you know, martial arts training in the Mediterranean, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, we're getting outclassed here. And so it's like he was using old rock and roll songs from the 60s to train to when I walked in his academy the first time. It was like, been through the desert with a horse with one day, it's so good together. You know, I went, Dan. I'm the only one that can call him Dan because he's my student. Everyone else calls him Guru. And I said, why are you using that music? He goes, oh, it's the beat. And I went, ha ha. Okay, we got to get rid of the dumb pop songs. They're wonderful, but we need to focus on the rhythms because the rhythms that I teach, they're under our pop songs, and these are powerful rhythms. They've always been powerful rhythms. So it's like he got it, and now he drums with mallets because they want him to drum for 2 hours while everybody trains. He says that's hard work playing for 2 hours solid. I said that's right. He says you got to be in shape to be a drummer, and he's dripping wet, and I'm not wet. You know, I said Dan, it's not about being in shape. It's allowing your body to do what it can do, and so that way you won't wear yourself out. You know, but your hands already know how to do this. He said Bruce Lee said exactly the same thing to him. He says, you are the Bruce Lee of drumming. I'm like, sweet, not true, you know, not true. But, you know, he understood enough to translate it. Now, this is basically what we've done already. The tempo is like up. Now, what does a critical mind do when it hears something like this? It immediately assumes that it's much more complicated than it really is. So, that's right, you find your common note, the downbeat. Now, this is the foundation for samba. Now, a lot of people can't do that. So what you're capable of doing here is discriminating fine time. Get down to really small increments of time, and you're able to feel that because you can't think it. The brain's too cumbersome. So those quick little notes, you got it. It's intuitive.
Yeah, I do this on my steering wheel.
Right. Right. And if you were in Bahia, in Brazil, you'd have 100 drummers doing this, and they do capoeira. So there, their martial arts and their drumming are totally connected. You have to drum if you're going to do Brazilian martial arts. And you have to be able to dance. So again, this is not correct. This is generic. This is the simple way to play a samba. That's why I call it like simple samba. Now, what's cool about the samba is it really turns everything upside down. See, like, what your mind has already assumed is that all good music has a downbeat on the 1, 2, 1, right? So it assumes that every beat that we play has to have that downbeat right on the 1, on the beginning note of a measure, right? So what the samba did, and also what reggae did, was take the emphasis off the root, off the 1. Don't put it there. Put it on another beat. And what happens? So now I'm accenting on the 2 and the 4. Now I'm going to go back to what we were just doing a minute ago. Yeah, it screws the brain up. So now I'm back at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Right? So now we got the downbeat, which is really conventional, and we can handle this. Your belief system can handle this. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Downbeat, downbeat. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 EN, a 2 EN, a 3 EN, a 4 EN, right, and all that. So the challenge then is for a drummer to play their part and not be distracted by the other parts. It's a great meditation because you have to focus and believe in your own downbeat. See, most people come to the drum to heal. Most people come to the drum to heal. So I'll show just enough technique to get them into the self-healing drum process. So people, they'll do this, and you can just see, they're unraveling what needs to be released. Let it go. And the drum does that, and I don't know why. It just works. Now that you're confident, I'm going to throw that other part on it. And you just try now to stay on your part. You and Kathy. One. There it is. Good. So you see, you go all over the place, but you come back. You get reoriented on the downbeat, and there's no hard feelings. It's all fine. It's all forgiven. That's what I tell people. The downbeat it's always forgiving because it just wants to be played. Good. So you get confident. Take a chance. And that's when the good juices flow. Endorphins, the electrolytes, the endocrine system gets active.
I'm a little tired. I went to an exercise spinning class before I came here.
Oh boy, that's a full night. Okay, now I'm going to come back onto the one. So now we're all in agreement. But you see how that works. What you're doing, you're subdividing your attention. Most of it going to what you're doing, and a little bit of it going over to what someone else is doing. And so that's the skill that the drummer develops. It's called independence. You have to believe in yourself. And then you don't compete. If you don't believe in yourself, you compete. And that's the other thing. People will believe anything you say if they're drumming, because it's totally convincing. The drum is totally persuasive. So you can use your groove to get what you want. Well, I'm throwing a lot at you, and you're handling it pretty.
Picking up, I know.
Pretty
I'm,
good.
Like, you know, I think it's like over, like, oh my God, I'm doing it, and I feel like I'm thinking, but I'm not thinking, and I'm like, it's
That's
weird,
good.
you know, and you start,
Yeah, the realization that you're doing it, I like to witness that because it's a moment of empowerment, you know, for people.
and you're very comfortable too.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky, you know.
You're a very comfortable teacher, you know.
Yeah.
So it's,
Good.
it's
Good.
always
That's the whole point.
makes it easier, you know. Don't feel a pressure.
Yeah.
You know, I want to please, you know, and you want to look good, but it's not about looking good. It's about, you know,
Yeah.
Enjoying
enjoying it.
Enjoying
Well,
the moment.
you know, it's a thing of enjoyment for you. And my teacher,
Why
Aileen Trafford, she told me that early on. She says, you can do this as a living, but you can do it the rest of your life because you like it. And because I've seen so many classical geniuses, you know, prodigies, just burn out. And I feel really fortunate that I'm still able to do this, you know, and to get the quality of experience that I get, you know, that we all get
Absolutely.
when we come at it from this approach.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's a great thing to bring a community together without having to speak the same language. This is a common language here.
Yeah.
It's music and
Yeah. Yeah, so it's still exciting, you know, when all of those dynamics become active. And like you're saying about you're witnessing yourself doing this.
yeah.
And I explain to people who are so distracted that they can't function. And so, I deal with them 2-3 times a week at these recovery houses up in Beverly Hills and Palisades. And I explain to them, when you're in a groove, when it's relaxed, you witness the part of the mind that's really trying to do the right thing. It's working, it's figuring things out, and it's creating a whole lot of anxiety because that's its job. It's doing what it was designed to do, only it's overstimulated. The culture, everything, stress. So as you drum, you remove your awareness from that place. Sometimes for the very first time for a lot of people. And suddenly they're feeling the pulse of a drum that they're doing, and they witness that they are not their anxiety. You know, they're not their fear. They witness it. It's over somewhere else. They see it over there somewhere. And they're here hitting the drum. And it gives them this, freedom, separation from all that anxiety of, am I doing it right, on and on. And the secret of how we teach is like the tempo falls back, it lays back. It's just nice, and so it brings the system down from that alarm into compassionate attention. It's like, I'm here. This is it, and it's really not the tempo itself. It's a phenomenon of slowing down. And that's how you control the frontal intellectual mind, the new intellectual mind, by slowing its tempo down. Because it has to follow. It doesn't understand rhythm, but it can be controlled using rhythm. And that's why mantras in meditation are useful. But again, mantras are language. So you're going to activate the intellect. Here you're not. No words. And as I'm laying back the tempo, you're feeling good. It's like, yeah, I can do that. And you do this, for a little while. Suddenly you go into trance.
Yeah.
The intellectual, critical mind starts to quiet. Gets real quiet. But it jumps in every once in a while, trying to, regain a sense of control. But you witness it doing that. And this is classic meditation training. You witness the critical mind trying to get back in control. But the rhythm subdues it again. When you relax and you're laid back, it calms that intellectual squirrel in the cage that's always going. A lot of the times recycling old issues, old tapes, or whatever you want to call it. So in a sense, those are dysfunctional grooves. Repetition is a groove. So that's dysfunctional. So here, this is good. This is a good group. And it's one of the few things that can break those loops of habitual thinking. And you're not doing it intellectually.
Yeah, it's bypassing the intellect.
And you just get familiar with the new state of mind without the anxiety. You don't do an intellectual if then, it won't work as well. Here you go straight there. Hello, Central, give me Dr. Jazz. And you're in, that old rhythm and blues, philosophy.
Back to Dr. Give me some jazz.
So this ability to be late, I had to learn how to do that because I'm a total worrywart. I mean, since I was a kid. So in order to be funky, I had to get out of my mind. And it wasn't through drugs and alcohol. It was a meditation. It was I had to learn how to do it.
Although drugs and alcohol were awfully appealing. Being in it.
I was witnessing a lot of people crashing and burning.
I was still witnessing people crashing.
But from my place as a drummer, I had to hold it together. I had to hold everybody together. And I'd been trained. So, and just my background, I really did not get so blindsided by the drugs and the alcohol and the wild living. I don't think I did. Maybe a little.
Few episodes.
Yeah, right. So the point being is that,
I know I lived through these, I just can't remember them.
and so what I tell everybody is everybody loses the downbeat. You lose the groove, not a big deal. You get back on it, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Spirit doesn't go away.
You guys have the best smiles.
You wash away.
Wash away, wash away, wash away fear. 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 Wash away, wash away, wash away pain. 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 Wash away, wash away. Wash away pain. wash away, wash away illness, wash away, 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 wash away, wash away illness. Can't begin. Oh, yeah. You're fine. You're good.
I did it. Give me confidence.
Yeah. So now we're going to shut the circle down, and then you're free to go.
I'm released from my therapy, my drug therapy.
Well, what I witness with people is like when they come into the treatments, is they're very distracted and they cannot keep a steady down. Could be for whatever reasons, but generally the cure is this.
Maybe because I've also gone through a lot. I've done a lot of meditation in the last 4 years. Maybe it's helped as well to
Yeah.
be able to.
Yeah.
To hear.
It dawned on me that it was a meditation after we'd been doing it for years, because I realized, oh, these has the same effect as meditation.
Yes.
You know, bringing you, making you present, and
You're in the now. You're
yeah.
right here now.
yeah,
If you're not here, you're not.
in this moment. And every time you're here on that moment, you have to be here. So it's like, that was big realization that I'd always been drumming that way. But not all drummers did drum that way. And I started to realize that people wanted to do that drumming instead of like the traditional, drumming rudiments and all that, which I still love to teach. But this meditation drumming was going straight to the heart of the matter. People needed this in order to like reintegrate themselves, to download a new operating system from some higher consciousness. All sorts of like imagery was coming up for people. They could sleep better, not so angry so quickly, compassion, and just being present, like showing up. Where your body is, that's where I am. And so it's like, that's meditation. And the rhythm is the mantra. Only what's nice is it's no words, so you don't have to go through the mind. You don't have to go through the monkey mind. So it's not intellectual. It's like, whoa, a physical meditation, like yoga. So the stance really sealed it. When we got the stance together, then you realize, oh, I don't have to hold the drum.
You sell those to people?
Yeah, the stance.
Stores? You give them to drum stores too to sell?
I don't distribute that much just because we make them ourselves. Yeah, I should. Just manufacturing is a challenge. It's not hard to make. They're unique though. You got to do it right. So it took years. It took 15 years before we got the right design. And plus, it's aesthetic. When I go around the country, I'd have to get more stands because I sell them. So I can go to the Builder's Emporium, best, the hardware store and get the materials and build them, make a stand on the road, in a motel room or wherever it was. It's the luck of the draw.
I guess so. Because last time I came on a Friday, you had like a bunch of people here.
Yeah, you never know how many people are going to show up.
You never know what's going on now.
It's been that way for
Yeah.
29 years.
Every
No.
every weekend is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing you've been here so long and I've never known.
Huh?
I can't believe it. I've been in San Mark for 30 years. I just, you need a bigger sign or something. I don't know. Put it right there on the sidewalk so people can trip over it.
Drumming workshop.
Well, it's like Hogwarts West.
Yeah,
People don't
that's
see us till they're really like ready
That's
to
right. See,
to
it's-
deal with
it's-
it.
You need to go to a certain consciousness to find you.
Right.
It's true.
But people have said when they're walking by, they said the store called out to me, told me to come in.
It did.
That's been the case even before drumming.
Yeah.
People would walk by the front of the store and then walk back and come in and say, "Yeah, it's in here."
I know, it's a little
Great.
I walked by a slice